Welcome back, everyone, to the College Commute. Tom, how are you doing today on this late afternoon?
Late afternoon is being incredibly generous about the fact that when we finish this, it will be midnight, right when we need to publish it. But I'm doing very good today. It's Mother's Day. It's a special holiday episode of the College Commute. Hope you guys all spent time with your families today and, got to share some of the love that we all hold inside of us. And let's get ready to fucking rock.
Yeah, it is a very generous late afternoon. It is about 10:50 right now. So hopefully no one plans on watching this right at midnight, because I'm sure it won't come out.
But that's okay because, I spent a lot of time violently hungover in bed this morning. Yes. So I didn't get home until 3 last night. So it's just been a late day in general. So we're waking up tomorrow to start the work week, and we're very excited for that.
What time do you have to get up tomorrow?
Like 6, 6:30, 7, 7:30.
That's why I try to do this at 8, but
it just depends on how I'm feeling, really, is when I wake up. So that's good. So at least I have that kind of control over some aspects of my life.
Fair enough. I got to do some homework tomorrow, but not too much.
Nope, I got to work, but it's Monday. Mondays are usually pretty late lift days. I'm going to go in, do a lot of trainings.
Go fuck yourself.
Yeah,
don't put hearts in the chat. We hate you.
Yeah, can we get some bleh faces in the chat for Mondays?
Screw Mondays. All right, so Tom found some story that he's going to share with us or something. I don't know. He was just reading something and seemed amazed and was going to tell me, but I told him to wait and do it on the podcast. So
yeah, sometimes I just like to goof off and I'll read through scientific articles. I know I've talked about it before. So usually I focus through fitness and nutrition, all that kind of stuff. This one is actually posted by the American Psychological Association. So it is a psychological paper by Rachel Adelson. It's from 2005, so it's
shout out to
very
Rachel.
Old. Yeah, can we get Rachel? Come on the show.
Yeah,
I have a lot of questions about this research. But it was a study done by British researchers, and it basically just talks about how language can affect how you view colors and how we perceive colors. So in certain languages,
it is too late for this. What?
I know. So certain languages have many more words and will classify languages differently. So people who grow up with English might have a much better perception of colors because look at the 64 pack of Crayola, you know what I'm saying? We have a ton of different colors. We're grown up with all these different colors. But I guess in a lot of other languages, if you were to ask people, they might not know the difference between looking at brick and rust or sage and green. And obviously these are small denominations of not understanding or perceiving these colors the same. But I just think that that's crazy that just based on the language that you speak and how you grow up hearing and speaking that language can affect how your brain will perceive colors.
Bro, that's wild.
Yeah, so they tested a ton of different people. They had, they tested people across England, people from the University of Essex. They had tribes in northern Namibia, a country on Africa's southwest coast. And so at the study start, the English children included 32 3-year-olds, 36 4-year-olds. Of these, 28 became the longitudinal sample, completing all 6 tests. The Himba children included 42 3-year-olds, 27 4-year-olds, and 63 became the longitudinal sample. So they pretty much just observed and saw how they perceived colors, which was pretty crazy. So for the Himba children, they would have one word, sarandu, and that would mean red, orange, or pink. So all 3 of those colors are perceived as the same one by them. And I don't...
Does that mean your brain sees that and can't tell the difference between the shades, or it's just you just refer to them by the same color?
That's what I'm wondering myself. Does it actually affect how your brain sees these things? Maybe. Or is it just the classification? So they have another word, zuzu, which is a variety of dark colors, which would be dark blue, dark green, dark brown, dark purple, dark red, or black.
Well, that's a lot now.
That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of different colors.
You can't tell the difference between dark green, dark purple?
I imagine they would be able to tell the difference, but maybe it's just in their language they classify based on what we would consider sunset colors, the red, orange, pink, or dark colors. So maybe they're not calling it out by their colors, but they just have like a different classification system. Because I mean, the vernacular of everybody is obviously very different. So I think that's really interesting.
I'm like looking around the room and like trying to like think about like how that makes sense.
So, and they say not only has no evidence emerged to link the 11 basic English colors to the visual system, but the English Himba data supports the theory that color terms are learned relative to language and culture, which makes sense.
I feel like also a big part of it might be that like if you look around this room right now, like there's so many colors that you can tell they're like artificially created. Mm-hmm. So it's like in these like other countries they probably don't even see those colors ever.
Yeah,
because they're like made by mixing other colors, obviously, but like. These other countries aren't like just, I don't know, they might not have like this weird shade of blue. Mm-hmm. That's like baby blue, say, or whatever. Like, I don't know.
But see, now I'm reading this paragraph and it says the authors say that Himba and English children started learning their culture, they started learning their culture's color terms, the link between color memory and color language increased. Their rapid perceptual divergence once they acquired color terms strongly suggests that cognitive color categories are learned rather than innate. So that tells me that's very interesting. So to like, if you were to look at colors like red and pink, you know what I'm saying? Like your brain, unless told, you might not classify those as like similar colors.
Yeah, that's wild.
So that brings me to a question.
Oh boy.
If language influences how we perceive color,
right?
What other things could languages be changing our perception of? Like, what else do you think is perceived differently based on language?
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
But I would say like people in general.
That's what because I don't think this, I'm very curious as to how like the inspiration for this research came up. I know in psychology, they're just testing everything all the time, which is awesome.
Literally everything.
But like they say to a certain extent, like language shapes the way that we think. And like that seems obvious on certain aspects.
Yeah.
But when you break it down to the little things of like the perception of color. Things are a lot different. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy.
And I don't know. I never thought of it. And I do like that they took like incredibly different groups of people, like the tribe from Namibia. And I've actually watched documentaries on tribes from Namibia before. Honestly.
Never heard of them.
It's very interesting. So it's like when we're talking like a tribe, it's very underdeveloped. So it's like
Right.
You know, it's like the kind of tribe where the kids are wearing like the string clothes and stuff like that. They don't have shoes. But I pretty much watched what it was like. So I watched a documentary about raising a child in Namibia compared to raising a kid in more developed areas like Tokyo or like San Francisco. And then I watched another one in like another underdeveloped country in China. I think it was a documentary called Babies, but we pretty much just studied like the child development of these kids and like how similar it was. And it was super weird to see. So I kind of want to tie this in because like the color shows how different things are just based on what language you speak. Whereas like you look at the actual physical development, which does seem to be more innate in the fact that like you have all of these kids being raised in such different environments, some kids with way more resources than the others, but they're still hitting the same milestone like goals as their like development increases. Like they're still learning the same like mobility things at the same time, like the same cognitive like things at the same time. Very interesting, like how some things are just like known across people, and then like it comes to colors and it's just different.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Because all right, think about this. What color is this table?
Tan.
We both know this table is tan, right?
Yeah. But they would probably just say it's brown.
No, but there is no way of knowing that you and me are looking at the same perceptual color of this. Because we could both be seeing completely different things. Like my tan could be your purple. And that's just how we see the world. We don't know.
The amount of times that thought goes through my head is unhealthy.
I think about it all the time. It never stops.
Probably twice a week. I go, that's blue, but this guy next to me probably sees my purple.
But it's his blue. But it's your purple. And that's crazy to me.
What if it has to do with eye color?
That would be intense. But there's no way of knowing, because if color's learned, if my parents are raising me, right? Say if my parents both have the same eye color, but if my parents have brown eyes and, you know, my mom's like, this is what blue is, I now learned that is blue. Nothing before would have been able to give me a color classification because color's learned. So now I know that is blue. So whether or not I see the same blue as her or not, we have no idea because we describe colors by describing actual things. So if someone asked you to describe blue, you'd say, look at the sky.
Right.
You would say, if you look, you know, what's red? Look at an apple. Look at that car over there. There's no way of actually being able to conceptualize whether or not we're looking at the same perceptual color.
Now, ready? Just think about this, okay? Picture the sky as what you see as green.
I think about that,
and I'm like, that's hilarious if that's what you see.
It sounds so weird, but that would be normal to me.
Right.
So if I grew up my entire
if the sky was green to you, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, but the sky is blue to me.
Right.
And like,
and that's normal.
But how do you describe that without like describing the color blue? Which if I see
the only thing that makes me think that that's not true and like keeps me sane is that like we see like a poop color, like my eyes, and we're like, ew.
Okay.
But like I get that you could then but like we agree that like these vibrant colors are like pretty. Yes. But I get that like I don't know, your brain could think if it's my brown, your brain could somehow think that's pretty, but it's
also learned. So that's like another thing, you know what I'm saying? So like I'm sure kids don't pop out of the womb thinking mustard yellow and shit brown are gross colors. But the connotation that we have with these things, name something that's brown that's like inherently beautiful to look at.
My eyes. Thank you very much.
Okay, I was going to say except eyes because obviously my brown eyes are gorgeous.
There's animals. Like, animals are...
Yeah, but we're not looking at animals being like, ugh.
Brown. Right, yeah, like a grizzly.
So it's...
Like bears can be like really like majestic and they're brown.
Yeah, exactly. But we never think about that. But there's like certain things where we just like look at the color brown and we're like, yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Right. So like... I don't know,
like my poop.
Yeah, think about. But so that's like that's an association now. You associate that color with those disgusting.
But it's
things.
more like when my poop's like greenish and I'm like gross. But it's more just because the fact behind it is that like, that poop is gross.
Yeah, you're now associating.
I'm like
that poop to the color.
I probably just drank a million beers and that's what it looks like.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the association that's now directing.
It's also smell.
True.
Okay. I have another thought, okay?
Okay.
Another reason why I think that could happen with the colors, right, is like taste buds. I think it's the same thing, right? Is that me and you could eat a piece of chicken, but you could be tasting what I taste when I eat like fish.
So I never even thought about that, but
it's the same thing. Yeah. But that's also why people, this is why I think, this is crazy, but it's like, maybe we all do like these same exact things, but like, I don't like fish because it's what you taste like. It's like your chicken taste or something.
Because I always think, I've met people who are like, my favorite color is brown. And I'm like, how? Why is your favorite color? Maybe their brown looks different than mine.
But even like that cabinet or whatever back there, like that's not an ugly color.
No, it's like a... See, I can't describe without like comparing it to something of the same color, obviously, but like an oak almost. It's like a beautiful... I think it's the wood stain on it, the design of it.
Picture trees, right?
Yeah.
And imagine the leaves are your purple.
That'd be sick.
And that's like what I see. Exactly.
That would be sick. I would love nature. But I think there's like the aspect of like there are mental differences between people and their opinions that make them enjoy different things. Obviously, because everybody's different.
Right.
But I also wonder like what are the perceptual differences that drive these things? Because like, you know, these could be things where, you know, if you go to different countries and whatnot, like, more colors are more prominent in different countries and they speak different languages. So what if languages and the whole color thing like help perceive what colors become more prominent? You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to Greece, like you go to Santorini, like you're looking at like white buildings, blue dome churches, like
maybe they all see that as my green and that's why they're doing it.
But it's beautiful and I love it. Most people do find that beautiful.
Textures are like different.
Okay, so have you heard about synesthesia?
No. Is that what that is?
So, no, synesthesia is a psychological disorder where pretty much your perceptual like receptors in your brain will trigger other things. So, say if I like eat pepperoni, that might make me like hear Mozart in my brain. Or like if you would name a song. Alex plays a song. He starts playing that and I start seeing colors because the receptors in my brain that are picking up on that music is now triggering my visual receptors to start showing colors.
What is that meme? It's like science is green, math is red, and history is blue.
Yeah.
And it's like, yep, 100%. Why? Don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's things like that. So a lot of people with synesthesia can like make crazy associations with things.
Right.
And actually like people can learn.
We all have that then. Let's be real.
No, but people can learn like skills based off of it, right? So they have like charts. It's like what my synesthesia looks like. And it's like you like light gray is associated with a 0. 1 is black, 2 is pink, 3 is yellow, 4 is blue, and stuff like that. So like if we're looking at like the actual, I don't know if I can pull up the actual like definition of it right now, which is crazy. But like it's just super interesting to me that like imagine like throwing on headphones and you just have like a full display of colors rocking in your brain. Yeah. Like you're just seeing colors. I feel like I don't want to say I would enjoy it because it's a psychological disorder and I'm sure that can be very debilitating.
Probably like scary.
Yeah, in certain instances. But like just the idea that people can like taste something and feel something. Like they feel something and they taste something in their mouth, or they hear something and they like get reminded of something completely different.
I mean, I feel like it also like, oh wait, quick side note, like real quick. What is it about like when you're like name a song and I literally just can't think of a song? You know,
it's like Billy on the Street.
Yeah. When he's like,
name a woman,
name a white woman, and so you're like, fine, name a woman, and she's like,
I don't know. It's something about being put on the spot, but
yeah,
it gets everybody all the time.
But it's like, okay, back to what we were saying. Like, it's even like, I feel like it can relate to if I'm watching like a bakery show on TV. I'm like, oh, I can like smell that. Mm-hmm. And it's like partly like memory too. I don't know.
But imagine that kicked up like 10 times more, where like you have a literal disorder. Where it's just like,
that's what I imagine like goes through like dogs' heads.
Yeah, and
that's why their senses are crazy.
But I always wonder if it's like, there's only been like one person in my life that I've ever encountered that actually had synesthesia. But I always wonder, like, is it a constant thing? Like
or does it just act up?
Yeah, every time you touch something, are your other receptors being triggered by it? Which I feel bad that I can't answer that right now because I did a full research essay and project on synesthesia when I was getting my psych degree. So I feel like I should have a better.
Hey, listen, it's 11:09, so
yeah, it's late at night. Yeah, I'm still recovering from a concussion right now. We're struggling, but there's different kinds of synesthesia as well. So it says it's a rare experience where one property of a stimulus evokes a second experience not associated with the first. So they have like misophonia, chromesthesia, mirror touch, spatial sequence, number form, lexical gustatory. I don't know, but it's like just so crazy that you can associate different things with colors and letters. Like you could say July and the color yellow is now popping up for me. Like that's just how I associate things.
Months have colors, definitely.
You think so?
Oh, totally.
But I feel like we associate that with the seasons. So if I were to tell you,
because like December,
January is probably light blue, right?
Yeah,
makes sense. Winter, light blue is like a wintry color. You tell me like March, you're thinking green. Could be St. Patrick's Day, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It could be the green of spring.
I see what you're saying.
So I
feel like that's part of it, though.
It is part of it. Our brain just kind of takes all of our different perceptions and experiences and like forms what we know as reality. But like we don't know if anything's actually real or not because it's just what we're perceiving.
Everything's perception.
Exactly. Because like it was a question we used to ask all the time. Like if your perception shows you an elephant in the room and all of your receptors are telling you there's an elephant in the room, but you're the only person who has that experience of like being able to touch, smell, feel, and see an elephant in the room, but nobody else can, and that's what you perceive. Is it actually in the room?
Or like,
yes, it is, because that's what you're perceiving.
If you're like the only one there.
Yeah, exactly. So our own reality is fully based off perception. That's why like people get so caught up in their own ways, because something can seem so real to you and so like definite.
Right.
That like our own convictions of that become, supported by our own perception of it. And, people just disagree on stuff. Because like I perceive cheesecake on my tongue. I'm having a great time. I absolutely love cheesecake.
Cheesecake's fire.
Some people don't like cheesecake. I don't know why, because they're wrong, and that's a fact. But I don't know.
What if also like, not even like color, but like, if your face looks different to me than like it does to you in the mirror? Wait, hold up.
I think that's true. I think that is true.
What if like, or like what you see at yourself in the mirror is not what other people see?
Well, so that's very common. I mean, I like body dysmorphia is a huge.
Well, right, no, but like completely thing. Different. Like,
yeah,
that'd be crazy. It wouldn't make sense, but like,
I don't think that, because my biggest thing is like I can see how you look right now, but I can also like feel you,
right,
and like perceive your body and like multiple senses to kind of align with that to like give me that.
Tom is feeling me up right now.
It's true. Alex is exactly what he looks like.
I'm like on the table and Tom's feeling my body. He's
incredibly strong.
Yeah,
I think he has an 8-pack.
Hell yeah, I do.
But
I mean, yeah, because it's also like some people like are like, oh man, I'm so ugly, but it's like, I don't know, like not everyone finds you ugly, and not everyone finds you attractive either.
Exactly. Everyone has different opinions. Yeah. So like, what is beautiful to one person might not be as beautiful to other people.
Let's be real, Lindsay, out of my league.
I can attest to that.
No, that's
not even a. Yeah,
it's not even a question,
sure.
Bro.
So clearly, her perceptions are.
Yeah, she's laughing over
She's
there.
damaged.
Yeah, she knows it too. She knows it too.
Yeah, everyone does. But like, that's okay.
Hey, my personality is killer. So what can I say?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Her perception of you is not based solely on your looks. It's based on your personality, your mannerisms.
Whoa, hold up, everyone. let's take a break. Yeah, I completely agree.
But I don't know. That's very interesting. And like, obviously, everyone's going to perceive things differently. And this language study really like brings that into focus. But like, take you and your siblings, for example. You guys were both raised, or not both, like all three of you were raised in the same house, same family, all grown up together. Yeah. The life experience that you guys have.
You were going to say expectancy. I was like, whoa.
No. Well, yeah, no, that is different. But the life experience that all you guys have is so different. Like if you look at me and my siblings, like for sure, the life experience that every single one of me and my siblings have gone through is so like vastly different from one another. So we perceive things way differently.
Right. Yeah.
So I think it like, people ask like, how does language affect our thinking? I think it goes like so much more beyond language, based on like our language and like our own personal perceptions and thoughts and like what we've been able to experience with things. Because like maybe someone says their favorite color is brown because they're weird, but maybe they like fell in love with someone with like really pretty brown eyes, and like that association is like maybe they just liked their eyes so much that that's what drove their fascination with that color, because maybe that triggered them to view brown in a different way. Whereas I look at brown and I might think of like sticks and trees and nature, and I love nature. But
are you Theo?
But like, yeah, like a dog, like whatever. It's not as exciting. I don't care for it. I don't hate the color brown. I just don't love it.
I fell in love with someone with blue eyes.
Is it me?
It's you.
Get fucked, Lindsay.
Yeah. My girlfriend also has blue eyes, but it's definitely Tom.
But I don't know.
Tom came first.
I think that's interesting. I did come first. You're welcome. I brought you into this family.
I don't know about that.
I helped.
Everyone takes credit for that, so.
Yeah, but come on. Let's be real here.
It was Theo. Oh.
He wasn't even alive.
Kind of on the same topic, but a little bit different. Like with like the colors and stuff. The videos of like people that put on like that are colorblind and like put on glasses, that's amazing. Bro, imagine seeing like half the colors for your entire life, and then like, well, I mean, I guess that's the whole thing with like perception too. Like,
I gotta say, in our lifetime, that's got to be one of the top 5 like.
Oh yeah, with like hearing too.
Oh my god, it's incredible.
Like when they give like babies like hearing aids, whatever, and they like their mom like talks and they like light up. It's bro.
And like
that shit gets me.
I know. I cry every time I see that. And like
unreal.
The colorblind one is amazing because like the hearing one and like cochlear implants make a little bit more sense to me because I understand how hearing works. I understand everything that makes up the ear and what their function is. So and it's much more mechanical.
Yeah. It's not a lot of as many parts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's all, your ear is mechanical, so we can rebuild that. But when it comes to like color and perception, like a lot of that is the neural connections between the rods and cones in your eyes. Obviously I don't have an education. Like I don't have a real education. I don't know anything. But the idea that we can like take that and alter it to like make it so someone can see color. Like, yeah, that's incredible to me.
Can we buy some for Theo?
So I know
how to put them on.
I do know how glasses work. That makes a little bit more sense because it's more about like, reflections and bending the what you see. But color is insane because that's based. I feel like an idiot right now, but I want to say it's based off of your cones in your eye.
No idea.
And how do you change that? That's nuts to me. But I love it that people. Have you seen the people with like Parkinson's?
Yeah.
When they do that, where they can like I don't know if it's like reversing it, but they can like hook a thing up to their brain, and it like reverses their tremors, so they become like much more still. Crazy.
Yeah. I've seen like one with like someone. I think they had Tourette's, and they smoke weed every morning, and they're a normal person the entire day.
Yeah,
that's wild.
So there's obviously so much research with like marijuana, but like I've seen a lot like. I've seen like little girls who like suffer from seizures, like constantly, like always seizing up. They wake up every morning and like throughout the day as they need it, take like a THC like lotion bomb almost, like rub it on the palms of their hands, on the soles of their feet, whatever, and then no seizures.
That's crazy.
Like absolutely nothing. And that's crazy.
Unreal.
And like the differences between people to like be born with like abnormalities from what we consider as normal. So many things are like very common. So I don't want to say like disabilities, you know what I'm saying? Because like,
well, there's just so many different things.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you look at like autism, you know what I'm saying? People look down on autism like as a disability, but like everyone's somewhere on the spectrum. Like, it's a spectrum.
Exactly.
Like, literally every single person is like somewhere. Some people have it more different. Like, they're not like disabled or anything. They're just different, and like that's perfectly okay. But like just the differences between everybody in the earth, and obviously there's so many people, like current, past, and future, like. The differences astounds me, especially when it comes to languages. And you know what really bothers me?
Oh boy. What?
Like there's languages that have existed that we never knew about.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I wanted to say was like so if you hear a language that like you don't know anything about, right? Gibberish.
Yeah.
Like what's the difference between like hearing that and like dogs barking? Like they could be literally like saying words to each other.
That's true. It really depends.
It's all gibberish.
Yeah, it depends on the language. And I think what helps us with like human language is usually there's another indicator that can help us out a little bit, like accent.
Yeah.
So if you hear someone speaking a crazy language and maybe you hear like a German accent, but like maybe you know enough about German that you know they're not speaking German, you can kind of chalk it up and be like, well, maybe it's like one of the Slavic countries or something like that.
Right.
Or like Germanic languages. But like, we have no idea what they're saying, and like it's just crazy to me that like just how language was created in general. Because one, it blows my mind that like there's so many different languages that spoke, like that's beautiful, but like these languages started from somewhere. Like there was just people making up words for shit.
Yeah,
and that changed.
Like just imagine being like water, and everyone's like, "Yeah, water.
Yeah,
all right,
like, that is water." Like, who's the first person to be talking? Being like, "That's a rock." Like, fuck it, that's a rock now.
I don't know.
And then not only did you like create that, but now everybody else is on board.
Everyone's like, "Damn right, water," and you're like, "Hell yeah!"
And then
boys,
like just the fact that we have the technology and like just enough like efficiency with languages to be able to like translate things. Like, do you know how much communication needed to happen to be able to pair up every single German word with one of our words?
Oh,
because like before people knew both languages,
crazy.
Like the amount of time and patience and effort that comes into being able to fully translate things.
Do you know how to say water in German? Let's see.
I do not know.
Because like imagine, right? Let's see. Wasser, but that would be. Do they do?
But that's pretty close. Pretty close, right?
Well, yeah, but how do you say that in German? Do they do weird WV shit? I don't know.
So, like, I'm very tired right now, and don't judge me.
I have no idea.
Arabic is a very throaty language, and I'm way too tired today to be able to, like, tap into that. But, like, water in Arabic is like man.
Okay.
Almost like man, kind of. But, like, how do you connect those two?
All right, let's see. Water.
That's interesting to me.
Water, I need it. Okay, water.
Or I'm actually sorry. They translated it wrong. It's not man. It's just ma. So ma is different, but there's also different dialects of Arabic itself. So like, Ma, my, and moya are all different words to say water in Arabic.
You ever seen those videos and it's like French is such a beautiful language, and then it's like they translate someone, it's like ton 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 ton.
But that makes perfect sense to them.
I know, like that's crazy.
But also imagine trying to like come to America and they're like there and there, 2 and 2, and they're just like fuck it, dude.
That's true, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
There's like words that have like 6 different meanings. It's like, come on now.
The science behind language is incredible to me because like not only do we just like have words for things, like we studied that shit, like grammar, like.
Yeah.
We are deep into how these words need to be said.
Another thing on like perception is that like me and you like have like the same amount of like a Boston accent, I would say.
Yeah. Not really. Like very little Boston accent.
No, yeah. I thought you meant like there wasn't. Yeah.
No. But yeah, no, like we have a very similar accent.
Right. But we hear people from Boston, and we're like, damn, that accent is thick. However, me and you go to Florida, anyone knows immediately we're from Mass. So like to them, we do have a Boston accent, but to us, there's people that have even more of a Boston accent.
That happened to me because like I would never say that I got a Boston accent. Like I would never even consider that.
No.
When I was in Greece, like I was with people from all over the world, all over America. So I had friends from like Louisiana, California, Florida, Wisconsin, like Illinois, like everywhere. And these people were like, you're from Boston. Right. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't have a Boston accent. I don't have an accent. Like, you should hear a real Boston accent. It's not me. And they were like, nah, you're from Boston.
Yeah. It's just, honestly just like, I don't know. Yeah, it's crazy.
But it's interesting to me that like, because like, you know, I studied Arabic and they have like different dialects where like certain things like, different dialects will have completely different words for different things. Yeah, so, like, I learned Standard Arabic. I don't say I learned, I don't really know fully Arabic, but, like, I learned Standard Arabic. And then, like, I try to, like, look at our own language of, like, English and, like, try to, like, apply the same concept of, like, dialect. And it would be, like, would it be, like, how we call soda, and then if you go to Ohio, they call soda pop?
It's exactly, yeah.
Or, like, down in Louisiana.
Or the difference between, like, here in England.
Yeah. Exactly.
English, but it's very different.
Yes. Okay. So that actually makes more sense because I was just trying to think of like.
I mean, even still, like U.S. English and like. Too.
I don't know if it's more of like an accent or like a dialect rather, but like I think about like when I was in Louisiana, like people would ask for like, oh, can I get a Coke? And they'd get like a Sprite, and I'd be like, oh, they fucked it up, and they're like, no, like soda, we call all sodas Coke, and I was like,
well, then how do they know which one you want?
Coca-Cola, if you want Coke. Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, crazy. Like I wasn't there long enough to fully grasp this concept.
You're still processing.
Like I never fully understood this, but I was like in the restaurant with them one day, and I was like, "What?
That's crazy."
Fuck.
I feel like if you go to like Florida, it's not that different because Florida is just a bunch of retired people from Massachusetts.
Yeah, I know. I think the same thing every time I'm. All right, unless you're in like northern Florida and you're like the Okeechobee, you know, like the real swampin'. Fucking Joe Exotic part of Florida, then shit's getting weird.
Yeah, but if you're like Orlando or on the coast, like
everything's the same because like everyone who lives there like isn't from Florida. Like South Florida isn't like southern United States. Like, no, geographically it is. Socially and every other aspect, like it's not. Like it's
not it's not the typical like South that you.
No, it's not the deep South that you consider. If you go to like northern Florida, like you're in the deep South. You go to southern Florida and you're like. Key West, bro. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah,
like, I feel like I'm in California.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't make sense. But it's very interesting and kind of different, but on the same topic. Do you know what I love seeing?
What?
How different architecture is based, like, depending on where you are, and even in the United States, like the whole world. Like,
I mean, like here compared to like. I don't know, like you watch like Lindsay's watching Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah.
And you like look at all those houses.
Yeah.
It's like,
so Breaking Bad is one of the things that I always think of, like because they're in New Mexico, like Santa Fe, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Yeah. The houses are so different.
Yeah, and like they have to be. Like there's the reason behind it, but it's like I don't know. It just is like I don't know. It's weird.
So when I was in Baton Rouge, like they don't have garages.
Like nobody really.
Yeah, no garages are like. Weird to them.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're not getting like snow.
Yeah, exactly. Like... But so sometimes they'll literally have like 4 posts and a small like metal roof, like over where they put their cars in their driveway, and I'm like, what the? And I went to a couple like really nice houses.
Yeah, they probably garages. Do. Yeah,
but like the traditional home did not have a garage, and like most of their houses, like It was surprising to see a 2-story home.
Yeah, no,
They have much flatter homes.
I feel like that's how it is. Like when you watch like Breaking Bad too, like they're all
they're flatter, which is super weird. And again, like if you go to Florida, like it's normal.
Like except the only thing in Florida is everyone's got an in-ground pool with the fucking mosquito net around it. Yeah, because the bugs are so bad.
Yeah, the mosquito nets, which is super weird. But like in like the elderly community housing and whatnot.
Yeah.
But they have like garages, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's like normal walkways.
2-story homes.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's much more normal. But like it's just crazy to me to think that like just depending on what state you're in or even what part of the state you're in, like you're looking at completely different houses.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I associate Texas with like brick homes.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously that's more prevalent in like the Rolling Rock, Austin area because each like you got one side of Texas that's like desert and one side
Texas
that's like
is massive,
luscious and green, which I feel like people don't appreciate enough. That there's like a large portion of Texas that has like luscious green nature.
Yeah,
beautiful, moist.
Never been in Texas, but
me either. But I'd love to go. I got friends in Texas.
I'm sure. I mean, Lindsay's uncle lives there, so I'm sure I'll be there eventually.
Yeah, no, I definitely need to go down. I need to go visit Austin. I got friends in Houston too. Will's down there in Brownwood.
Is he staying there next year?
Yeah, I think so. I think he plans to get his master's there.
I always say like we'll go visit, but I don't got the money for that. What am I saying? If anyone wants to sponsor our trip to Texas, let us know.
I'll pay if you just give me some time off from work. That's my biggest thing now. Like now
Tom's work. Come on the show. Let's discuss this.
Now I have the money to travel, but I don't have the time to travel now that I have to save up PTO.
Isn't that always the problem?
Yeah, it's always one.
I have the time, but I don't have the money.
Yeah, exactly. And
let's meet in the middle.
I used to have all the time, but I was trying to be wise with the money. But let's be honest, I feel like I take a lot of just random trips and go random places anyway, regardless. Yeah. Especially working.
But that's all you can do because you can't take all the weeks off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
just do a weekend trip.
I almost booked that trip the other day to I was going to go to Germany and Switzerland for 10 days, and I was literally about to book it, and I was I don't know when I'm going to have enough PTO because I had to consider how frequently they give me time off from work, how long it would take me to save it, but what if shit comes up between now and then that I need to take time off for other things, and then I'm and then I get there and I don't have 10 days that I can take off, which would suck.
Oh, you're gonna go for 10 days?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because the
weekend, dude. If I'm flying to Germany and then Switzerland, and then I think
you don't want to go for 7 days,
and then I think I'd be in Milan, Italy for a few days as well. I need time for that.
Right, if you go less than 10 days, you're spending half the trip flying. So
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I don't want to deal with that. But I was looking at other trips too. I kind of wanted to rebook my trip for London, Paris, and Rome.
Right.
Just because COVID cucked me out of that one. Yeah. COVID also cucked me out of going. Where was I going in South America? Belize?
I don't know. Why am I asking me?
I think it was Belize. Yeah, I think I was supposed to go to Belize. And then COVID cucked me out of that too. Very rude.
Probably head up to Lake Winnipesaukee soon.
Went there last weekend. It was a great time. Hit up all the local spots. It's the off season right now, so it's pretty dead up there.
Gotta love it up there.
Still, so beautiful to look at the lake, cruise around Governor's Island, remind yourself that we're poor.
Yeah. Anyone want to buy his house on Governor's Island, let us know.
If anyone wants to make us millionaires, please let me know.
Zombie apocalypse, okay? Are you down to go steal Governor's Island?
Easily.
And we'll live there.
Okay, sure.
Because there's only that one bridge, so all we got to do is barricade that one bridge.
That's very fair. That's a great point.
Yeah, and plenty of living space, and there's still plenty of land, because there's nothing in the middle, really. I mean, there's some houses, but there's definitely plenty of land that you can clear.
What if they think about that first, though?
We're better, duh.
Is it do we pick one house and kill the people inside?
No, we're taking the whole island.
Okay, so we kill all of them, or just hope they're zombies?
That was very harsh. No, we're not going to kill all of them.
I'm curious how far into the apocalypse and how much our morals have shifted.
Hopefully, we get there right away.
Okay.
And we don't kill the people, but we're taking charge.
Do you want to know what my honest...
And they listen to us now. Or hopefully there's zombies and then we can kill them.
You know what my honest plan is for if there was a zombie apocalypse? No. I've thought about this. Damn. Okay, that's my new plan. But I've thought about this so many times. A great place would be Murdoch High School.
Yeah, we've talked about this. Definitely.
So you got the castle, and when you're on the floor too in the English wing, and certain you just have that flat black roof with the black rubber on it.
Plant on that.
Gardens. You can plant on that. We're very central to a grocery store. Got plenty of fire hydrants, full security around. You have a watchtower up top.
There's also Memorial School next door for more housing.
Exactly. That could be like the housing area. And then if you look at like the library and like they have like the thick beams up top, like you could store more important things. So even if people did get in, like you could kind of hide away up there and no one can get you.
Because you know there's only like 2 entry points.
Yeah.
The library would totally be like our wing, like the people that are running the place, like that's where we would stay with all like the guns and
and you barricade that, like you could barricade that so nobody's getting in.
Yeah.
But I just thought that would be like
because you got the towers.
Yeah, you're surrounded by trees if you need to cut down for like firewood, if you for energy, you got the fire hydrants are there, grocery stores right up the street. See a whole 18-wheeler. Back it into one of like the corners of the school where we used to like wait for buses. Easy access to food.
They have like where like the wood shop was. You can back the truck right up into there.
Yeah, right into there. You got a loading dock. Everything's good. You got the tools. I just think the high school would be perfect because the school's not too big, so everything's like located enough that you could like keep it central and organized.
You could build a barricade around it.
But you could easily
It'd probably
have
be
everything.
Tough to build a barricade around that and Memorial School, but we could get to that.
No, that'd be like but if you started, I think Murdoch would be like the easier choice to start with. Yeah. Build a good fence around that, and I think you'd be good.
So how about this, right? Zombie apocalypse. You go get started on the school, okay?
Okay.
I'll drive up to Governor's, see what it looks like. If it's already barricaded up, I'll come back. We'll leave it.
Gotcha.
If it's like everyone's already dead, then we'll try to head up there.
That's fair.
All right.
See, my only concern though is if a zombie apocalypse happens, right? We know it's not going to be immediate.
Right.
It's going to take time.
Definitely. Yeah.
So if you think about the population of here and the population of Lake Winnipesaukee in general, we're going to be one of the later affected regions. Because we would probably have to wait for it to work its way from Boston all the way down to us.
Yeah, you're right.
But it really depends on what started the apocalypse. Because if it was just like one person was like case 0, right? You could probably smoke a couple of people in the head and immediately stop this zombie apocalypse.
All the shows say otherwise because people are stupid.
But that's because they always start the shows like into it. They never show like the real start. I think the only...
Is this another movie idea?
The only movie that really covers the beginning of an apocalypse almost is like Zombieland at the very beginning for like 2 minutes. Where it's like, this is what happened. This is me now. But they don't like fully explain what happened.
Because like it would have to start in like a city, right? Because like...
Yeah.
Because otherwise you could contain it.
If you think of all rules of spreadable diseases, we could genuinely look at COVID for a perfect example on how it spreads. But like COVID was also, what was it, like November or December it like started existing.
Right.
And it made its way all the way in March is when we started really getting hit, like late February, March 15th is when we were notified that the state was like shutting down.
Right.
But so I guess another question is like, what's the moral aspect behind it, right? So if you like look at the case of a zombie and you know these people are zombies, like they're going to be brain dead eating people, the immediate containment option for someone with less morals might be to shoot these people in the head and stop it.
Well, the zombies?
Yeah.
Well, obviously. So they're killing the zombies.
Yeah, well, obviously you're not going to do that with like a disease like COVID, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you mean. I see where the moral dilemma.
Yeah, because we're able to, with COVID, like, people get better, so we contain them and heal, and then it spreads because we're like containing them. If it's zombies, like we're smoking them.
Yeah.
But is it like a disease that's only spread by biting, or would it be?
Because Walking Dead is
biting.
No.
Or it's not.
If you die, no matter what, like you're turning into a zombie.
Okay, so that was more like a neurological.
Yeah, so that's where you can't contain it.
Oh, you're right.
It's not like
if it's a neurological thing that somehow gets
spread.
Did they ever explain how that happened?
I don't think so. I never finished.
That's what I'm saying. I think this is like a huge gap in zombie culture.
I think they made a sideshow, and maybe that's where it talked about it.
I never watched the sideshow.
I also haven't seen the first season in probably like 6 years, so I don't know.
Yeah, I just know he woke up in the hospital and was like really threatened. It's been a long time since.
But because if like a silent like disease spreads.
Yeah.
And like that causes you, when you die, you turn into a zombie. It's like, okay, now we can't just like kill the first zombie and now there's no more zombies.
Yeah, no, that's fair. If it's like a spreadable neurological thing, that makes a lot more sense. Because I was thinking like almost like a bacterial infection from like a zombie.
That would make sense with how it happens, because like no one's just random, like, going to turn into a zombie and start eating people, and then they're zombies, and that's how it starts.
Yeah.
Like, there's got to be something that's like, true, why did that first person turn into a zombie? Or I guess, it was a disease. Well, definitely other people have it.
I guess it would also make a lot more sense if it was like a virus or something that
exactly.
can change. So, because viruses can change very violently, very quickly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People that are like finding ways to bring back dinosaurs.
Stop.
Don't. No.
I'm mixed.
There are movies to prove why that's not a good idea.
All right. Would you go to Jurassic?
Yes. I think we've talked about this too.
Okay, we have talked about that.
Bro,
obviously we'd go. We're done.
In the new ones where they have like the ball things that you're in, that's sick.
Yeah, you'd have to go. So here's my thing. Part of me is like, no, obviously we've learned this is a horrible idea. We talked last week about the Planet of the Apes thing, like, you know, making like monkey humans or whatever, doing some weird stuff with that.
All right, yeah.
And I agree that we always ask the question of like, what can science do? And not the question of what should science do.
They can do probably too much.
But here's the thing. I love science.
I love science too.
I want to know what it can do. I don't care if we're making like questionable decisions. I really love the idea of like
having a dinosaur.
Not just dinosaurs in general.
Robots are cool. Don't care.
AI, clones, bro. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. I want to see it. If that provides a little extra spice.
The only problem
drama,
with it,
whatever,
is how you get it. Like, to get clones, you have to do some probably fucked up testing, and that's no bueno.
We've been cloning things though. Like
I know.
Yeah, and I agree. It's the ethical value. Yeah. So,
God, there's always a con.
I know. On. So when it comes to the importance of it, like you really need to balance.
Right. Like, is cloning important? Probably not.
No. So we're not going to risk. We're not going to risk our morals and ethical code to do that. Whereas if we see something like very important, we might be willing to push the boundary a little bit.
Research or something.
Yeah, we might be willing to push the boundary a little bit for the need. I feel like they haven't pushed it that bad with cancer, though. You think they would, honestly. Like, to be fully honest, you would think they would push maybe a little bit more.
I don't know. Maybe they have. We don't know about it. Well, because like, is it something that you could test on like animals? Because like, it might not be the same. I don't know. I am completely out of my element talking about this right now.
I don't know anything about idea. Like. I have like some background in like psychology.
I literally had professors that studied this, and I still don't know. So.
Yeah, I'm not good on diseases because take everything we say with a grain of salt. We're idiots, obviously.
I'm a chemical engineer that doesn't know anything about chemicals.
I'm a psychologist who works as a business manager. Yeah. So we're just out here, and don't ask me about business. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Buy Dogecoin or whatever the kids are doing these days.
Buy the dip. Just kidding. Don't do that.
Buy Ethereum though. No, too late. Fucked it on that one, but
I can't believe I sold my fucking Dogecoin.
I would have over $20,000 right now in Dogecoin if I didn't sell.
Yeah, I'd have like 10 grand.
Based on like a couple $100 maybe.
Yeah.
Because I had it so long ago. $20,000. I'd be
buying
a house right now. Fuck.
So stupid. All right. I think we can wrap this up. We're at like 50 minutes, so that's pretty good.
We're just sitting here regretting our financial decisions while we ponder our existence.
Well, now I have to go to sleep.
Yeah, I'm going to have nightmares tonight about like colors and like reality.
I don't know. I'm pretty tired. I might just fucking knock out.
That's fair. I have to wake up very soon for work.
Yeah.
And this episode needs to be posted.
I stink. Can you smell me, by the way?
I cannot. My allergies are bugging me. I can't, like, do I sound nasally to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, my allergies are bugging me. I don't know why. I'm going to go home and kill some more cough medicine. Hope it works out better this time.
Like, my feet stink.
My feet have never stunk. I've never had that problem.
They rarely do.
Really?
But it's because they did from last night's work. And then so my shoes stink. Gotcha, and so I wore them today.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had that issue. Very happy for it, to be honest.
Yeah, I never really smell.
Oh, well, shower tonight. Well, I'll be good.
You want to shower together?
Sure.
All right, cool.
I got nothing better to do.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We're coming off of Mother's Day weekend. Got a couple weeks until Memorial Day weekend. A lot of you are going to have a day off from work. Party time. I will be going on a hiking trip that weekend at Lake Placid. I'm very excited. Life's good. Hold on for that day off. Get through your 9 to 5s, 7 to 3s. Don't care what time you work.
Don't care. Just do it.
Either way, just get up, do it, and use your time off. All right. Don't worry about what's going on at work. Don't worry about the people you work with. If you got time off and you want to use it, do it. Because next week you might not be able to use that time off. And you earned that. It's a perk of your job. Don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do that. Do what you got to do. Live life. Be happy. Go look at some colors. Because they might be weird.